Hello dear students. In the last session we have discussed about the Hirudinaria granulosa. In that we studied about the body wall, digestive system up to sense organ. In this session we study about the reproductive system, male reproductive system and the female reproductive system, and the parasitic adaptations of a leech. Coming to the reproductive system, leeches are hermaphrodite or monoecious. Here, each individual possesses a complete set of well differentiated male and female reproductive organs. And self fertilization does not occur, and cross fertilization preceded by the copulation is being effected. And coming to the male reproductive organ, male reproductive system, the male reproductive system consisting of the testis sacs, vasa efferentia, vasa differentia, epididymis, ejaculated ducts, atrium, and the testis sac. The testis sacs, we can see the testis sac in the 10th and 11th segment. There are usually 11 pairs of testis sacs in the segment from the 12th to 22nd, one pair in each segment, lying ventrally on the either side of the ventral nerve cord. In the diagram, from the 12th segment to the 22nd segment, we can see the testis sac. Testis sac. Each testis sac is small spherical coelomic sac from the walls of which spermatozoa or sperm mother cells are bulbed off. The spermatozoa float in the coelomic fluid within each testis sac and develop into spermatozoa. Next one is vasa efferentia. From the posterior border of each testis sac arises a short sinus duct, the vasa efferentia, through which the mature spermatozoa are passed into vasa differences. All the vasa efferentia of one side open into the common vasa difference of that side. And vasa differentia, they are a pair of slender longitudinal ducts running forward from 22nd to the 22nd to the 11th segment, lying along the ventral body wall on the either side of the nerve cord. Each vasa difference is enclosed within a tubular coelomic space which contains amoeboid corpuscles similar to those of the hemophilic fluid. Next is epididymis. The epididymis, each vasa difference in the 10th segment swells to form closely convoluted and compact mass, the epididymis or sperm vesicle. The two epididymis serves to store spermatozoa. You can see the epididymis in the 10th segment. And next one is ejaculatory ducts. From the inner and anterior end of each epididymis arises a short, narrow ejaculatory ducts or ducts of ejaculations. Next, atrium. It is a periform sac situated in the 9th and 10th segments, to which join the ejaculated ducts of both sides. In the 9th and 10th segments, we can see the atrium. The atrium is made up of an anterior prostate chamber and a posterior penny sac. The prostate chamber possesses thick muscular walls covered with several layers of unicellular prostate glands. The penny sac is an elongated muscular chamber. The penny sac is an elongated muscular chamber and contains tubular coiled penis which can be averted and is often seen protruding out through the male genital aperture on the ventral side of the second annulus of 10th segment. And next, testis sac. The spermatozoa produced in the testis sacs are stored in the epididymis. And this is all about the male reproductive organ. In this diagram, we can see the penny sac, prostate, the epididymis, and also we can see the female reproductive structures in this diagram: the ovisac, ovary, vagina. Now coming to the female reproductive organs, in the female reproductive organs consisting of a pair of ovaries, a pair of ovisacs, oviducts, and a common oviducts and a vagina. A pair of ovisacs. In the diagram we can see a pair of ovisacs and a pair of oviducts, and a common oviduct and a vagina. And coming to the female reproductive organs parts, the ovisacs, there is a single pair of globular ovisacs enclosing coelomic spaces and an artery in each, situated in the 11th segment. Each ovary is a coiled nucleated cord which ova are bulbed off. The coiled ovaries remain floating in the hemocoelomic fluid enclosed within the ovisacs. Oviducts, next part is the oviduct. From the base of each ovisac arises a short slender tube, the oviduct. The right oviduct passes beneath the ventral nerve cord. Common oviduct. The oviducts of two sides unite to form a common oviduct, which is like an S. The common oviduct lies in the 11th segment. At the junction of oviducts, the mass of unicellular albumin glands opening to the common oviduct. The common oviduct opens into a pear-shaped muscular vagina. And the vagina is a large pear-shaped muscular bag lying in the posterior part of the 11th segment. It increases in size during the breeding season and also become internally thrown into large number of longitudinal folds. It opens to the exterior through a midventral female genital apertures in the second annulus of 11th segment. And next is copulation and fertilization. Copulation takes place in the months of March and April. During copulation, the two leeches come together by the ventral surface pointing in opposite direction, so that the male aperture of each is opposite to the female apertures of the other. The penis of each is inserted into the vagina of the other, and the spermatophores are deposited so that there is a mutual insemination. Copulation may occur on land or in water. It lasts for an hour, after which the two worms separate. And the next is fertilization. Fertilization occurs in vagina. It is internal. So whereas internal fertilization seen, the fertilized eggs are discharged through the female genital aperture into the cocoon or ootheca, where further development occurs. The cocoons of Hirudinaria are formed in April, May and June. The clitellum forms around segments 9 to 11th during breeding season. Here the clitellum refers to the storing, helpful for the storing of the eggs. It's a bag-like structure formed in the 9 to 11th segment. The clitellum forms only during the breeding season. And its gland secretes a frothy girdle which hardens to form a cocoon. The clitellar glands secrete albumin into the cocoon, used as nourishment for the developing embryo. Next, development of the young proceeds within the cocoon. In each cocoon, 1 to 24 embryo develop and swim in the cocoon, feeding an albumin. They finally escape from the cocoon. Development is direct, there is no larva, and it is completed in about 14 days. It's about the copulation and fertilization of the Hirudinaria granulosa. The last part of this session and this topic also is parasitic adaptations in Hirudinaria. Hirudinaria, the common Indian cattle leech, leads a parasitic life as it feeds on the blood of cattle and man. For parasitic mode of life, there are number of adaptive features in it. However, some of the features as follows. It has a long, flattened, limbless and swift swimming in nature, and a slimy body is well suited for its aquatic life. It's a slimy body covering protects it from friction in water during locomotory activity and also facilitates respiration through the skin. And it prefers to live in shallow waters of the pond, tank, lake and a stream. The anterior and posterior suckers are organ of attachment. Particularly, the posterior sucker is much more powerful and muscular. It is a sanguivorous in habitat, hence it must attach itself to the body of the host. So, its suckers help in doing so. It possesses denticulated jaws in the buccal cavity. The jaws make wounds on the body of victim so that victim's blood vessels are exposed and blood starts oozing out. Its saliva contains hirudin, an anticoagulant that prevents blood clotting, so that leech may suck the blood for longer duration, as getting a host as a chance. The leech having the 10-chambered crop with the ceca help in storing of the blood. The one full male is supposed it's enough for many months and even for a year, because the process of digestion is very slow. And it has well developed receptors provide better chances for survival. It's a hermaphrodite means both male and female organs present in the same organism. And here all the individuals are capable of laying eggs. In contrast, only 50% of individuals of unisexual forms. Development occurs in utica or cocoon. The cocoon provides protection to the developing young ones. Within a short span of time, and they can mature, means within 15 days. Within 15 days, the young ones will emerge. And the leech are also used in the therapy, is known as leech therapy. It's used in Ayurveda. Leeches are effective at increasing blood circulation and breaking up blood clots. It should be no surprise that they can be used to treat circulatory disorders and cardiovascular disorders. And chemicals derived from leech saliva have been made into pharmaceutical drugs that can treat hypertension and varicose veins. And it's all about the leeches, the Hirudinaria granulosa, commonly known as Indian cattle leech. Thank you.